What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming. 5 performance bonuses tonight. 3 on the live card. Pono Powell, Anthony Blackburn. 2 on the early prelims that some of you guys may have seen. Stun Marshall, Abby Montez. And then the Crypto.com performance bonus winner is Alan Klingbeil. He'll receive $10,000 in crypto provided by Crypto.com. First question.
Frank, talk to me about the success of tonight. How's it been for you, and how's been the move to YouTube?
Yeah, our last event was the first event on YouTube. We're now trying, getting our feet underneath us with how the platform works and getting a lot of great support from YouTube. Tonight we had a Watch Wit stream with one of the YouTube influencers. We had 3 foreign language streams on our channel. UFC was streaming, so we also started streaming on Twitch tonight, and we'll be using multiple platforms going forward. But overall, huge success.
Awesome. I mean, we're seeing 2 Russians on the card here. Do you think we're gonna get more international talent here in America?
100%. One Kazakh, one Russian, right? Yeah. No, listen, that's part of the plan. Obviously, we'll be going back to Abu Dhabi and Saudi again this year, and on those cards, we'll see more international fighters, and it will continue to grow, and we'll get more guys out here.
Yeah, we see you change your recruiting strategy a little bit. We see you got a bunch of wrestlers in. You got 2 different combines at the Performance Center. Is this the new way that you're going to recruit going forward?
Yeah, 100%. The training has been super beneficial to everyone involved. Training camps we've been holding over at the Apex, and yeah, listen, the wrestler recruiting was a huge success too. I mean, we had 11 undercard fights tonight. A lot of those guys came from those camps, and they did a phenomenal job.
In regards to Mark Smith, I've never seen him as hands-on as he is at some of these camps and being involved. What does that speak to your relationship with the commission?
Yeah, I mean, Nevada has supported us from day one with Slap, and they want the best fighters up there and the best fights, and their involvement is obviously critical to the success of Slap, and we're happy to have them.
Tonight we've seen disqualifications, we've seen athletes not able to continue. Is there anything that could be done to try to get some cleaner matches?
Yeah, listen, it's these guys just got to continue to train and get up there. Our last event was in March. This is June. As we get more regular and they have more matches, they'll get cleaner. I agree. Some of these were not as clean as we wanted them. We also had some phenomenal fights in that. I mean, Klingbeil Simons was awesome. Manny did his thing against KO Chris. Blackburn's an absolute beast. That kid is really special. And Zakir had that foul, but I think we all see his potential.
Mm-hmm. Power Slap 14 in New Orleans. Why right now? Why New Orleans is it the right time to go out of?
That's going to be a huge week. There's obviously a huge UFC card there, but it's this thing is growing. Tonight was our highest ticket price ever. You couldn't get a ticket for this thing even on the secondary market today. It was impossible to buy. I saw some tickets going for $1,500, $2,000. It's time to travel the show and get in front of more people. It will grow the sport.
Amazing. Thank you.
Talk to us about that right here, Frank. Talk to us about that main event. Lots of controversy. Dumpling seemed pretty irate afterward. What did you make of that?
With those 2 guys, it's like they can't be moved. You hit them and they just eat everything. Again, definitely not the cleanest. Clearly, Dumpling had some shots that evidence on his face a little high, but this is how it goes. And I'm sure Dumpling will want to get back out there as soon as possible. But congrats to the Hitman.
Have you talked about ways to maybe rectify those fouls, like maybe involving instant replay more? Or?
We got more replays than you can imagine. I mean, I don't think it's a replay thing. I think it's just, the guys need to get crisper in how they're performing.
Talk to us about KO Chris. Missed weight, obviously, and then kind of looked like he might have given up, didn't want to be out there, as Dana says sometimes, and then it looked like Hunter had some words from. Do you know what they were talking about? Or?
No, I mean, KO Chris just came over and said he broke his hand, and this might be the end for him. But again, the emotions of being up there, and again, Manny did his thing. That's what Manny does, and however Chris felt that impacted him, I guess that was the outcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hey, brother. Dana's talked about it a lot about how this thing just continues to go viral. And I think the one video with Ronda Rousey right now is at like 32 million views already in 6 hours. Like how have you guys figured out a key to just keep making this thing?
Well, first of all, it was awesome to have her here. I think everybody was excited to see her when she was here for the early prelim. She was supporting PETA, who's her friend. Yeah, it's just everything we do tends to go pretty viral pretty quickly. I mean, obviously we have a great social and content team that, pulling these things together quickly and doing it right. But that's what Slap is.
And then just one about Michael. Obviously, she's been like a pretty heavy presence recently on social media. Like she's upped the social media that she's been doing, but it kind of seemed like, she paid more attention to social media than she actually did the slap aspect of it.
You gotta figure out the right balance. I give her a lot of credit. She took an opportunity, coming from nothing to what she's doing now. And, I actually think she's setting a really good example of how you take this platform and build yourself and put yourself out there. She's probably in her head a little bit tonight, but I know she'll be back. And then just your one other stat for you. We had over 300 influencers and content creators, streamers in here tonight, combined following of like 980 million.
Oh, I got to ask you, because I ask you this every time. When are we going to get an influencer slap fight?
Oh, we're open for business. Anyone want to reach out? We're ready to go.
Hi, Frank. Manny said in his interview, his post-show interview, that he would like to get on the New Orleans card. Is that something you'd like to entertain?
We have a card for that, but we'll go back on Monday or Tuesday and see if any of these guys can turn around quickly. I haven't even looked at the suspensions yet.
Okay. And the last event was about 3 months ago, and the next one's in 3 weeks. Is there going to be a new standard to have them 3 weeks apart, or it's just kind of sporadic?
I think when we get into 26, you'll see a more regular calendar while we continue to figure out. Actually, Hunter and I were talking, we're going to sit down next week and map out the calendar for 26, and we'll be picking the cities that we want to go to, and you'll probably see something more like every 4 to 6 weeks.
Are you guys still on track for 2 more in Las Vegas this year?
We have October in Vegas. That's October 3rd. Obviously, we have New Orleans. We'll have our Abu Dhabi show, a couple of Saudi shows. We'll see what happens with the Las Vegas.
Okay, and then Paige obviously got injured and was not able to compete on this card. Do you still want her to be the first woman to compete for the belt, or are you guys going to look at other opportunities?
We got to talk about it on next week. She's good now. Paige is healed up. She had some real sort of freak accident that we almost actually have never seen before, but she's better now. So we'll figure out what to do with the women's division. Obviously, I think we had like 6 women's fights today, so way more women on the coming into slap.
Yes. Well, that's good to hear that she's doing well, and thank you.
You got it.
You talked about there's way more women. How do you attribute that? Because when you started, there was one woman, and now there's like, do you attribute that to Paige and Michael Michel's?
Yeah, look, Paige, we knew it would be important to get more women into the sport. Paige was the first one to really come in. And obviously, Sheena and those girls have done a phenomenal job. Listen, you can make good money here, and it's fun. And if you think you're ready to go, that's why we're going to see more and more women come in.
Have you seen an uptick in women who want to participate?
Yeah, a ton. That's like I said, today we had 6 or 7 women's fights, more than we've ever had. So there'll be more, especially as we continue to recruit these regional wrestlers.
Do you see like other athletes from other sports, women that want to come in and compete?
Yeah, I mean, like again, this whole wrestling thing, and Sin has been a great addition to the team, helping recruit those guys. We get athletes from all different backgrounds in slap, and we'll just continue to grow.
With the main event tonight, you mentioned earlier on that with those super heavyweights, it's very difficult to move them or rock them or drop them or wobble them at all. It was a pretty close fight. Is a rematch with those 2 guys something that you guys see? Because, I mean, apart from maybe someone like Unco Micah, does he get an automatic rematch?
Listen, everyone knows Dumpling is a legend in this sport. The match was close. We'll figure out what to do next with him.
With the success of power slap in the United States, every Carter gets bigger and bigger. And as you said, there was like a whole bunch of influencers out there. Is this something that you're thinking about maybe taking internationally eventually? Yeah,
well, I mean, look, we go international with Abu and Abu Dhabi and Saudi, but we were talking about UK. We think it would do really good in the UK.
Well, specifically, I was thinking Australia, because I think the Australians would absolutely love this sport because, as you know, they're pretty crazy and mad down under, and I think they'd love it. So is Australia maybe in the cards?
I agree. Australia would be great. We'll go everywhere. Not to repeat everything Dana says, but the plan is to bring this everywhere we want to go.
Do you have any intel on what actually happened to KO Chris? Did he actually break his hand?
I have not seen the medical report yet. I don't know. No. There you go. No.
Thanks.
Since Power Slap tickets are selling out so fast, it's harder to get into. Do you think we could see it in maybe bigger venues like arenas?
Yeah, I mean, we had a slightly smaller room for this one, but there are bigger rooms even here that we can do. And yeah, I think the property is picking up a lot of steam, especially on the ticket front. Like I said, we put this on sale about 6 weeks ago. I think it sold out, by the first 10 days, and then people have been selling on the secondary market, and ticket prices have been going up.
And also, if you could have one UFC fighter come and do Power Slap, who would you choose?
That's a Dana question. I think they'll prefer to have the UFC fighters stay in the UFC.
Power Slap's obviously growing a lot. Could we see lower weight classes like lightweights and bantamweights in Power Slap in the future?
Absolutely. We have a lightweight division. I think we'll probably look at featherweight, and obviously the women. Actually, the women are starting at I think some of them are at atom weight or straw weight. So, yes. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Hi, Manny. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I noticed that you did braids this time instead of letting your hair out. What was the reason behind that?
To be honest, my hair is just a little bit long. Kind of wanted it out of my face, and kind of looking back at some of my previous matches, obviously the ones with Blackburn, they were a little bit close, and just following the advice of some of my peers, wanted to keep it nice and tight so it didn't jiggle around.
Love it. You had a harder weight cut last time. How was your weight cut this time?
Everything went smooth. I continue. I'm still kind of young. I'm still continuing to grow. So I mean, 170 is getting a little bit more difficult to make, but as I continue to grow and learn the nutritional aspect of it and taking care of my body a little bit better, it's give and take.
Okay. And you asked for a match in New Orleans because you didn't take any damage. If they were to give you a match, who would you want your opponent to be?
I mean, no one in particular. As I said, on stage, doesn't matter. Anyone from 170 to 265. I just want to compete. I want to be against the best. I want to prove my chin's the best. I show that time and time again. I've taken over 30 slaps in this sport, and nobody's struck any kind of fear in me. I want to feel that.
Okay. And you kind of went off on Chris on the microphone because he injured his hand, and you said that he copped out. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, I think he knew what was going to come next, and he found an easy way out and took it.
And did you feel disrespected with him coming in at 178?
At the end of the day, I mean, some people are going to take this seriously, be professional about it. Obviously, he wasn't one of them this time. Coming in that much overweight is embarrassing. I mean, realistically, we walk around the same weight. I made weight, no problem. It was a relatively easy cut for me. It is what it is.
Awesome. Well, thank you and congratulations, Manny.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Manny. You looked a little upset at the end of the fight, even though you did win. What was going through your head right at the end there? Because did you want it to go longer, or did you know that what was going to happen in that next slap?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a competitor at the end of the day. I want to win on stage in the slaps. I thought it was a bit of a cop-out, like I said. But no, I know I got the win at the end of the day, but I want to perform. I want to put a show on. I was very confident I was going to win. That was never the issue. I wanted to perform.
When someone comes in and they miss weight, does that give you a mindset mental advantage, knowing that obviously maybe he didn't take it quite as seriously as you did?
I mean, at the end of the day, I sat in there. Like I said, we cut from probably around the same weight. I sat in there. I busted my ass to make weight, and he didn't. It's weak mindset.
And in your pre-fight interview, you said that you were coming in, you were different this time. You're a different animal. What was it that was so different about this time?
I've just, as I said earlier, I'm a little bit younger. I'm only 25. I continue to grow every day, and I think I've just kind of settled into where I'm at, and every day I'm getting better. Every day I'm getting stronger, faster, and today I felt amazing.
Great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your title defense and your first official second belt.
Thank you very much.
This is a full circle moment for you. You've called for Azael as an opponent since Power Slap 1. How does it feel to finally get that match and come out with a win?
Well, that win felt amazing. shout out to all my friends and family back home that, they're super supportive since the beginning of this journey 2.5 years ago. It's just been nonstop support and, anything that I need, they're always there. My coach, he's, so well versed in his job that I don't have to worry about anything. He was on the phone with, Brandon has the same coach. So he's literally in Brandon's pocket and he called it. He said, third round right there. He messaged Brandon. He said, let it rip. And he's going down. That's what happened.
That's awesome. And one of the biggest questions going into this match was how would Azael's power carry down from 185 to 170? How do you personally feel it transferred down?
Either I'm working my neck way too hard or that cut down to 170 really is drastic for him. And, shout out to Alpero. He's definitely a tough guy, but the power wasn't there tonight.
And did you do anything differently in your training camp this time around than you have in the past?
I want to say I just got very strong in the neck. That was my big focus, was really upgrading and doing a more advanced technique. So I end up tying my rubber bands up on a pull-up bar and I'm doing a neck bridge with it on my head, like way out here, holding, and then coming back up. That's one. Come back down for 10 more seconds. That's two. So that's my neck training now. Other than that, I want to say, another shout out to my coach, just student of the game. He watches more film than I do, 100%. He has me doing the right techniques to win.
I love it. And I think you might have leaked a match that's on the New Orleans card because you said you were coaching in that corner. Do you have any concerns if that match, if he doesn't win, that it could possibly ruin the match that you called for?
I don't know. We'll have to see because, how things go card by card is how it's determined for the next one. So we really got to go back to the war room and see what's going on for the next card.
And I'm glad to see that Grimace made it here.
He's my good luck charm. He's coming to New Orleans for sure.
I love it. Congratulations again.
Thanks.
Congratulations on the win. Frank was in here earlier and kind of talked up the event, and he talked about you specifically. He said that guy's special. When you hear your boss say that, how does that make you feel? Do you feel that way? And what do you think makes you special?
Hopefully it's the right kind of special, but no, even since our match me and Manny had last time, he said, that was the greatest match we've had, back and forth barn burner for 5 rounds. So to hear him say that I'm special and, obviously he means because I'm different. Yeah, it definitely feels good. Thanks, Frank.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Here, Blackburn, with one of the most brutal knockouts, do you now see yourself as the face of Power Slap?
I've been trying to work at it, brother. That's why I signed up. I've been telling everybody my story is crazy. It needs to be put out there. Like, people need to be having me on podcasts and telling this crazy story of, dude, I started off and I never been in a fight. I never been hit in my face. You can't paint a better picture for a power slapper than a undefeated champion than that.
And then also, after such a great performance, how do you plan to celebrate?
We're gonna do the live event tonight with the full scope crew, and should be fun.
Is Grimace coming to the party tonight?
He's with me.
No matter how much, congrats on the win. And no matter
Thank
how many times you see those brutal knockouts when the guy bounces off the podium, it's still just like that shock. Were you able to exchange any words later, like say, like, hey man, like it's business. I got to keep this belt and take it home.
100%, and he knows that. We don't have any hard feelings towards each other. It was cordial all week. We could go out and have a celebratory drink after this, no problem. And I wasn't trying to be any kind of way towards his family and the crowd or nothing. It's just a show. It's just entertainment. So I just want them to know that I have all the respect for him.
Yeah, for sure, man. There was a lot of barks, but with that slap, you were the dog catcher and you kept that belt. Well done, sir.
Yeah, did you guys see me X the table? Yeah.
Congratulations, mate.
Thanks, Marcus.
Talking to you outside of this environment, you're a very laid back, soft spoken, maybe a little introverted. But then when you get up on that stage, you kind of like a completely different person. When does that switch flip for you? When do you go from this guy into the champ of power slap that's taking people's heads off? When does that switch?
I want to say it's that first slap turns it on for me. That's when I feel that first one, and I'm like I said, oh, it's going to be an easy night at work tonight. Like, I'm going to eat these up. I'm going to go deliver my slaps as clean and as good as I can and see if I can get the job done. And today it happened.
Were you surprised that he stood there as long as he did? I mean, he took a couple of great significant slaps from you. Were you expecting it to go that long, or were you planning to get him out of there in the first?
I really thought, if he was to eat the first couple, I really thought we were going to go 5 rounds, and I was, ready for the barn burner. I said, oh, here we go, another 5-round war. But, laying them consistent, clean slaps. And I like to say, when you're up there, I like to compare power slap to golf, because you can be at the driving range and trying to smash them, and they're going off, not going far, and you get that one smooth one that looks like you're not trying. Thing goes 300 yards. It's precision, it's technique. It's not just going up here and slapping someone as hard as you can. Like, I'm telling you right now, I was probably putting only 70% on them, but I'm hitting clean and hitting it right.
Well, I was talking to Aziel earlier on, and he said that he learned a lot from this fight tonight from you. He said that he went in there and wasn't expecting you to be as tough as you were. How does that make you feel when you're getting this level of respect from these other fighters in the league?
I think it, like, my real thoughts on it are, man, I was gonna try Blackburn for my face, my name, and just something told me to shave my face every time, be baby face. So something told me to just do it. So I think that kind of plays a role in it. Like, if I was some kind of big bearded burly, then maybe people would put a little bit more respect on my name. But
And final question, I see you doing a lot of cooking videos online. Do you think that hot sauce that you've been cooking with had any edge on your performance tonight?
yeah, Notorious Knock Sauce is definitely gonna be in my diet steady. I'm gonna need some more.
Appreciate it. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you, Marcus.
Okay, so Emmanuel Muniz and KO Chris, 2 former opponents that you had faced a few times. What did you think of their fight and their performances?
Manny was definitely ready for this match. We were just backstage in the same locker room, and we were playing around. If you go on my story, he weighs almost 200 pounds on stage, and I'm still like 174 with clothes on, So, I mean, that's a big guy. He's definitely been putting time in the gym. So he was prepared for this match. He cut the weight. Obviously, he made it. KO Chris, he didn't have the same happen for him. I think just coming in that heavy during a fight week, especially when you're taking you're not moving out of the way of a slap, and it's a very hard slap. You want to have as much hydration as possible. I really think that's the difference maker in my performance. Is I don't cut weight in the sauna at all. I don't plan on it fight week at all anymore, unless I go down to 55. Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Ron. Congratulations on your defense. I'm sure it's not the way you wanted it to end, but I just wanted to ask you, how is your hand? Because it looked like after the first or the second round, you heard it when he flinched.
I'll have to go back and watch it. My hand feels fine now, but I don't remember after the third round. So
You have a little mark on your eye, and that I believe happened when the strike that happened during the strike that ended the match. How is that feeling now?
it's on my eye. I mean, from what I was told, it was my neck. I mean, because it's all I got the chalk all back there, but my eye feels fine. I remember the first 2 rounds were going good, and then I don't remember nothing for the third round.
And you said you were open to rematching him just because you weren't satisfied with how it ended. But are you going to wait to see what happens with Turpin and Burns matched, or are you going to try to push for that Russell rematch first?
Honestly, it's what I don't really get to choose who I go against. It's really up to them. I know Russell's got the power to be a champion. I wasn't satisfied with the win that I got. But yeah, we'll see how the Turpin and Vern matchup goes. And then I know Klingbob, upsetted the undefeated Luke. So we'll see how that goes too.
I was also going to ask you about that. How did you what are your thoughts about the upset and Allen's performance?
I like both them guys. I'm happy to see Allen, got the W. Didn't quite want Luke to go out in that fashion. I was hoping it'd be like a decision, but it was a good match between both of them.
And when would you like to come back?
Whenever they tell me to. I don't really get a say so. They just call me, and I'm usually right here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Congratulations. Probably not the way that you wanted it to go down, but a lot of people say that the beard doesn't make any difference when it comes to power slap. When I was talking to Russell, he said it was a little hard for him to find the mark. So what are your thoughts on it? Does the beard have a difference? Does it make a difference, or doesn't it?
I don't think it makes a difference. I guess you could say it might hide the jawline a little bit, but as far as taking away from like his power or anything, it doesn't. I mean, before Power Slap, when I was with Slap Fight Championship, I shaved it off. I have not shaved it since I've been with Power Slap, but it didn't make no difference to me. But yeah, I guess it could hide the jawline, but
So can you explain exactly what was happening up there, like before everything finished and the bout was stopped? What was actually physically happening to you? Were you rocked up there? Were you seeing double? What was the issue?
to be honest with you, I don't remember. So I can't really answer that question.
Congrats.
Thank you, sir.
All right, over here. Now holding your belt for over 2 years, do you believe there's anyone that has a chance against you?
Yeah, I mean, Russell's got the power. I think that was a good match up until that last round. I mean, I remember the first 2 rounds just fine. We were going back and forth. I know he had that flinch. So, I mean, I think there's people out there that can beat me. It just hasn't happened yet. So
Yeah, just one for me. You're a guy that's been, you've been in this game for a long time and you're a veteran, and you said, I don't really remember what happened on that last slap. So since you've been in this game so long, are there certain like recovery tactics that you're going to take towards, helping yourself get better afterwards? And like, do you know how you feel at this point? Like, hey, I'm progressing a little bit worse than I thought I should be, or I'm going to be okay after this, not remembering that third round.
I think I'll be okay. I mean, the only other time I felt this way was against the bell. I Power Slap 2, so it's been a few years. I go back and watch it, and I just relax, and I get my head back together, and I'll be good.
So what does that take? Like when you say you're going to go and relax and get your head together, like, are you exercising? Are you like?
No, I actually just, I actually sit around, I'll go back to, working my job with my wife, and just not taking no shots to the head for a little while.
Yeah, and then have you ever given like some of the younger guys advice, you know, when it comes to headshots and things like that? Because like Blackburn was just in here and said, "Man, I was a guy that started out and I've never taken a shot to the face before." So they obviously don't have that kind of experience. They might not have that knowledge, you know, when they're rocked and how to recover properly.
I think everybody's got their own way. I mean, if you ask like MMA fighters, I'm sure they do, you know, whatever they do. As for me, I mean, I just know going back over, watching the video over and over, and just taking time away from getting hit just helps me out. So, and it helps me remember what happened and piece things together. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hi, Dane. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, I spoke to your brother a few weeks ago before you fought, and he said that you need to avenge his loss. How do you feel avenging his loss?
And it's bittersweet. I wish I knocked him out and really made him proud, but I think I did the same thing anyway. So, but it's not revenge. Not my revenge. It's the Lord had the revenge. That's why He placed me here in this time.
And Dumpling did say that he wanted a rematch because he said that you didn't hit him clean. What do you think about that?
I'm right now. I take him on. Like, give me my next one or whenever the future. But yeah, he deserved it. He deserved one. But I don't think he did enough damage to me to even stand against me on the next one.
And how does it feel to finally be the super heavyweight champion of the world?
Man, it feels unreal. I don't even know. Like, it's not. God is the one that placed this on me. So, yeah, it's just unreal. It just feels unreal. But thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you.
And when your match finally came out that you were going to be fighting the Dumpling, some people were saying online that you didn't deserve the shot over McKinney or Kalani, but now you have the belt. Are those some opponents that you would like to see next?
Yes. Actually, I think on anybody, but really, it's like, I mean, he didn't do the champ didn't do nothing to me. So what? I mean, I appreciate it, but I got the shot. So I welcome anybody. You know, no matter. As I'll train harder and I'll make sure I get a knockout on the next one.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much and congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congrats on the win. There was some controversy right over here. Sorry, congrats on the win.
Thank you so much.
There was some controversy in that match. Obviously, Diana just mentioned, you know, there's some discourse. Maybe you didn't deserve the shot. How do you deal with all those negative comments when you hear them?
Really, I want to respond, but really, it's like God placed me here. God did it for me. So, you know, I'm placed here for a reason. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if I didn't deserve it or not. I'm just here.
Do you read those comments?
A little bit, but I just don't want to, you know, egg them on because really, it's not a fight that they want. So, because I can go all day.
Next month in New Orleans, big power slap event. Obviously, Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway, a fellow Hawaiian. Did you watch Max growing up? Are you going to be at that fight to support him?
Oh yes. I actually want to make a trip out of it and do Power Slam and the UFC as well. And Max Holloway, he was with my brother for a while, a long time, and I remember seeing him in high school and stuff like that. And um, you know, just being from the same island where champs are born. Mom, dad was popping out champions. So let's go.
Congrats again. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, brother. With the super heavyweights, right? It's some of these guys, it's hard to knock them down. And when you hear the judges' scorecards, sometimes you never know. You know what I mean? We see it in the UFC, and we've seen it now, you know, and things like this. What specifically do you have to do, like other than just the slap, to convince these judges that, you know, that was your round?
Actually, yeah, going up against somebody like that, and you know, it's a tough opponent, and I thought I could get more power to do it, but it's more like your mental, you know, your mindset, and even if you didn't do nothing or you get slapped or just the emotion just don't really show it.
I was just gonna say, like, do you think the way that you respond after a slap, like if you're playing up to the crowd or like if you're stoic, like, do you think that plays into it when it's really close?
Yeah, I think so, and it's just probably the fact that he didn't do much damage to me. That's probably why I won around and sending him home with both sides of his face just gone. But I know I was kind of trying to play with the crowd, but more like locking in to try to show him, you know, than to show him I'm still there.
Yeah, and then as far as the power goes, like trying to knock him out specifically, like I can see it's frustrating because you're hitting him so hard and you're like, you know, why isn't this guy going down? Is there a certain spot that you're looking for?
Yeah, I was looking for a spot, but he's so big, he's the dumpling, so yeah, I think he don't even have a spot really. But my brother had rocked him really a little bit more.
And then last one, we're starting to see like in power slap, sneakers are kind of becoming like the way to show off. Like, were you up there in Space Jam Jordans tonight? Is that what I was looking at?
Yes. And on my last one too, I was hoping for the same turnout and outcome, but you know, at least I got the belt. But I love Jordans. If you can find size 16s, let's go.
Just one for me. So the t-shirts that we saw tonight, it said Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want.
David's.
And I think a lot of people see athletes in this sport and they don't understand where you come from. And when I see shirts like that, it says a lot about where you come from. Can you explain why that's important to you to have that specific passage?
Really, it's just there's power in prayer, and it's not by chance that we're here. God made us a purpose, and I believe that whatever we went through, we've gone through, we're here for a reason, and now my name is written. But also, I'm here for another reason, to save people as well. I'm gonna lay hands on people, but I want to lay hands on people for real, with saving Jesus, with Jesus Christ. He's my Lord and Savior. He's everything to me. He's the gospel. I want to protect the gospel that I have, and I wouldn't be here without him. So that's why I rather choose God than choose my own thoughts, feelings, and whatever.
It was a great night for the Hawaiians tonight. What's up, buddy? Congratulations, champ.
Yes, sir, Marcus.
So your mum was there, your brother was there tonight. Does that give you more of an inspiration when you got family members in the crowd?
Oh yeah, pretty much. I only could hear their voice and my coaches really.
I think they were louder than anybody else in the audience.
Right.
It was good to see. When you were standing up there against Dumpling, were you expecting more from him, or were you shocked at all, or were you actually surprised that?
Yeah, I was expecting more from him, but I was actually shocked that he didn't really do anything to me. But I was just more disappointed in myself that I didn't drop him or knock him. But I seen his face, so
yeah. He seemed very upset after the bout. He said it wasn't any clean slaps. You didn't move him. You didn't touch him at all. Is he someone that you'd like to rematch against straight away, or do you think you want to give somebody else a chance?
Yeah, I can do him straight away, or whoever gets a good knockout in the super heavyweights.
I remember we had this discussion maybe about a year ago when you're on the podcast, and you said that one day that belt's going to be yours as well, and you had a lot of confidence in saying that. Now that that's come to fruition, how are you feeling today?
Man, I just feel unreal that I even had this thing on my strap around my waist, and my brother's here, and just feel unreal. But I'm blessed to be here. Thank you, Jesus, that I did come out victorious. But it's not over. It's not over. It's just the beginning.
Family of champions. Congratulations, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, mahalo.
Congrats on win, Dane. Aloha. Doug
Yes, sir.
touched on the negativity that can come from a decision, but let's flip it to the positive. I know it's only been a few moments, but how has that reaction been? Because in the crowd, there were some people that were really hyped and happy to see you get your hand raised. How's been the love and the support just in these few moments?
Man, I appreciate the love so much, but I just felt like I didn't do enough to get that win. But I see it now. Everybody commenting and trying to call me. My phone's blowing up so much I couldn't even. If I answer one call, another call's coming in. So, but yeah, I appreciate the love from the fans, from everybody else there in the crowd that made this, the greatest turnout at the sold out show in Fontainebleau.
Sir, and last for me, we're not in the big island. We're on the 9th island. How do you guys celebrate this weekend?
Oh man, everybody's celebrating right now, but I really want to celebrate. I'll probably join the party, but I don't party. I'd rather stay clean and sober.
Get ready for the next
Let's
one. Congrats on the win, sir.
Here, over here. Your brother, the crazy Hawaiian, recently got into a serious injury. Has that messed with your mental at all going into this fight?
Kind of, because worried about him. That I just didn't want to call him because I knew, body got to receive the healing. But look, he's here. He's here with us, and it was supposed to be a surprise, but I kind of had a feeling he was going to come, but it was supposed to be a surprise, and he came last minute. But I didn't know until he was here that it was like probably 30 minutes, 10 minutes before we got on the bus. Let's go, pal. Let's go.
And my other one is, how does it feel to be the power slapper all of this originated from?
What's that?
How does it feel to be the power slapper all of this originated from?
Man, it's just feel unreal how Dana White just makes it happen, bigger than what me and my brother was trying to do in the beginning, but it just feels unreal. It doesn't feel real.
Hello, sir. Congrats on the win. I was just speaking with Dumpling after the match, and he said that your brother's slaps are more tough. So the question is, do you agree with that? And have you ever argued with Lane on who's stronger in your family?
Really, I think he was running from me. I was running from him, and we've been hitting each other from young. So now we hit other people. But Dumpling didn't have nothing on me, so I would gladly take him on again.
Medical commission denied his
After 21 to 30 days.
21 day, and he cannot compete in New Orleans. So, and the next power slap, as far as I understand, will be in Abu Dhabi. So are you ready to face him in Abu Dhabi on his
Oh
territory?
yes.
There will be lots of Russian people, and all they will.
Yeah, if you want to do a trilogy or do something, that'll be awesome. But honestly, I'm gonna train harder, and I'm gonna make sure I drop him.
Thank you, sir. Congrats.
Thank you, mahalo. Thank you, everybody. Good.